Joe, you've owned a pickup truck. Our guest had a pickup truck. He gave it away.
I heard the word
there's a story
vintage
there. And I have never had one. But if I did need one, it's tailgating season. I'm talking F-150. I'm talking Ford. Right now, Two Rivers Ford, you can lock in 2.9 financing for 60 months. Or Joe, choices, 84 months on a brand new 2026 F-150. You can choose the terms.
You'll get $1,000 bonus cash and a 2-year complimentary maintenance plan. Gosh, I am about the maintenance department at Two Rivers Ford.
You're a little too much about it. You want your cars. You can't.
It's the heartbeat, man. You like the front. You like looking in the mirror. You want it to be waxed. You like parking it over there in the shade. I like the guts and the glory and the strength of that great power in that Ford F-150 for the past 48 years. The best-selling pickup truck in America. We love it. You're going to love it. See it all, tworiversford.com. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
It's the Second Cup of Joe and John with Joe Elvis and John Dwyer.
Joe!
Hello, John.
How do I look?
See, here we go. What?
There's just some reputations you just can't rub away.
Well,
that's all right.
You've always had cool cars. You had a mustache.
Yep. I had a mustache.
I had a mustache.
I did have a mustache, but I also had Mustangs.
And yeah, I love it. I did both of those. I went through a pickup truck, period. But then I went to, oh man, what a rocket that was! A little Datsun 280ZX. Remember those?
I do. Yeah.
The 240 was hot and just still great, but the 280 was fantastic. But we like the sports cars.
What do you got? You're going to start with something else.
Well, I took that 2017 Ford Expedition now. We had the family truckster cruising up to Michigan, and I want to talk about your home Hoosier State.
Yeah.
Because we go from Nashville, Louisville, Indy, take that 465 loop, and then it's 31 right up the heart of Indiana, which is the greatest part of America.
If you don't play Mellencamp, you don't get it. It's the cornfields. It's the round barns. I love it. It's not for everybody. It's not real pretty, but I like coming up through Lakeville, LaVille, La Paz, Plymouth, Rochester. Sure. And then you get to Michigan. That is. I know you had a great
trip. The windows are down. Neil Young's Harvest Moon is playing. The sun is setting, and the people are the greatest in the world. And it's just the way America is and should always be. It's just fantastic little slice of America. And you went up and down that 31 quite a bit when you're doing sports out of South Bend.
I was at Butler University, and every weekend, junior, senior year, I came home. My party night was Thursday and then Sunday, and everybody was like, settle down that Sunday. I'm like, I got to cut loose because I've been working all weekend. Yeah. So, no, it was good. And I know that you've got a family home that you own and have in Southwest Michigan. It's like 60 years old or 7. Doesn't have air conditioning, right?
It does. Well, we have them in individual rooms now, but since 1924,
I'm sure that's good looking.
It gets cranked up. But love the Hoosier State, and boy, did I hear from all my Hoosier friends about the champion Indiana Hoosiers in the NCAA football.
Yeah, well,
enough of you.
You know what? We're done with that.
Yeah,
I don't need that.
Notre Dame thing.
Did they win? Oh,
we know people.
They did.
Let's take a spin through Joe and John's Rolodex.
Last loss Indiana had was to Notre Dame. Our Rolodex starts and ends on M, and it is Jonathan Merkh. Jonathan Merkh, I've known this guy for maybe a dozen years or more. He is the president and CEO of Forefront Books and Unicorn Publishing Group UK. Do I have that right?
That is correct.
Okay, a seasoned publisher, more than 30 years of experience, more than 100 New York Times bestseller, 13 number ones, unless we have to update that.
No, that's about right.
That's pretty good. All right, so your bio is all caught up. Welcome to the Second Cup of Joe and John. Do you know that we go back? Joe is the reason. Joe, you are the reason I know him.
How was that?
How did we meet? I hope we have the same story.
I'm trying to remember.
Oh, wow.
I was trying to remember that on the way here. How did we meet?
How about playing golf?
And how do I fit
but
in?
I thought we had met before then, but I guess not.
That was a memorable meeting.
Yeah, right. So
We
the
go
TV
first,
guy and some
yeah.
Joe Smo just met the TV sports guy at one point or another. But we met playing golf. Then, yeah, we were partnered up. There was just the two of us playing out at Hermitage.
First
And
off,
I was impressed by this young man because he would putt out every hole. He would never pick up. And I was so impressed by the fact that you do that.
that's our thing.
6 hours later, you were finished.
That's not true. But Joe and I, when we play, we had
Yeah,
a
we
first
do.
off at Hermitage on Fridays. We did that
7
for many
a.m.
years. And he wasn't there that day. And we
I
got
didn't know
paired
that.
up.
Was that
Okay,
how it
right,
happened?
yeah.
I thought that would have been a much better story. I'm sorry.
No, but because
all right.
we have other mutual friends,
Right.
a number of them. But I mean, I vividly remember I went out to play around, and I was by myself, and you were by yourself, and they put us together, and
We had a great time.
Had a great time, and it was on the old course at Hermitage. We played the
General's Retreat
General's Retreat,
versus
yeah.
President's Reserve.
Oh,
Which one
those
do
are
you
all
like? Which
good.
one do you like?
We would generally play presidents, but the key was teeing off at 7 a.m. and man, off we go, and we're done by 10:30.
Yeah.
Maybe even get a drink or something to eat in the clubhouse, and home by noon. And then we could either take a nap real quick, or eat, or rest, take a shower, and then we're off to work. And I went in the radio. John went to TV. Oh man, that was good stuff.
Yeah,
Good,
first
good,
off,
good stuff.
I like Presidents better. It's more forgiving, I think.
Either one. The sheep. The President's has the sheep, which I invite. And when they had the British Open, one of the commentators mentioned you've got to go to Nashville, Tennessee, and the sheep exist. And they were talking about Hermitage.
They got it from Whistler Strait.
Yeah.
Mike Eller, the owner,
right.
thought, I want some of that.
That's great.
But this is going deep in the weeds.
We did.
With
Where
the
did that-
sheep.
I hope you're watching on the YouTube, because everything Jonathan Merk's wearing right now, I want one of them. Love that jacket, love the shirt, love the glasses. Co-founder, president, and CEO of Forefront Brooks. And we'll go back to our earlier question. Did you ever own a pickup truck?
I did own a pickup truck a few years ago that I ended up giving away to a family member. But I will say the very first pickup truck I ever rode in, and I can remember this, was my uncle's Ford F-150 in 1974.
Wait,
I grew up in France. I grew up in France, missionary kid, and we came back, and my uncle had this pickup truck, and I'd never seen a pickup truck in my life. They don't have those over there. At least they didn't then. And I got to ride in the back of his Ford F-150, and now I want a vintage Ford F-150 1974 pickup truck.
In the back. So he was a ping pong ball.
Yes, I was.
In the back, like we all used to be.
Severe head injury there somewhere.
Ate my first McDonald's hamburger in that Ford pickup
Stole
truck.
your first kiss in the back of a pickup truck, probably. What do you mean? You were a missionary?
Missionary kid. My parents were Protestant missionaries in France. They were Baptist missionaries.
And that brought you to the U.S. to plant a church or something?
No. So they were Americans and went over there
now I'm
to
with
try to convert the Catholics. But anyway,
Okay.
And we were there 10 years. I thought I was French before I thought I was English, American.
That's crazy. So what age to what age were you in France?
3 to 13. Went to French schools. Went to learn all my math in French. So when I do numbers in my head, it's all in French. It's weird.
Nice. Can you whip anything out?
On peut parler français si vous voulez, oui.
No idea.
I mean, it's...
He just
it's my
said, John is a poser. That's where it came from. So you got a Bachelor of Arts in Bible and cross-cultural communications.
That's right.
So has your spirituality always been a part of your kind of leadership?
Yes. I would say my faith, yes, has always been a part of my life. I mean, my father was a minister. I grew up in the church, but I'm an Anglican now. My dad used to be what is known as Free Will Baptist here in Nashville. They used to have the college down on West End, which is where I went.
Sold it for a few
Well, you
mil.
went to Welch College for this
Welch,
that degree, yeah.
That's right. So now they're over there by Pope John Paul II, Gallatin, I guess it is. Anyway, so I went there undergrad, and then I got my MBA at Vanderbilt.
We'll talk about the publishing, but how'd you get to Nashville? What's that story?
Came here to go to college.
Okay.
So my
That's
dad gave me
interesting, too.
two choices when I graduated from high school: either go to the Free Will Baptist College or Welch, or join the Marines. Those were my two options.
I'll take A. This would have been late 70s? Okay, yeah.
Summer of 1980 is
Okay.
when I moved here, and I'm not left.
One of your previous jobs, vice president and publisher at Thomas Nelson. Yep. If you read on the spine of your book, I'm always confused. I had a little stint in the music business. So to me, publishers, we have music publishing, which is something you have to understand.
Right.
But they're not really creating the songs. They're kind of purchasing, and they might be, I guess. But like a producer in the studio, is that kind of what you are on the book side as a publisher? Are you just
like an A&R? I'm an A&R.
So you're
guy.
looking for the talent.
What's A&R?
I was A&R
Artist and
music.
repertoire.
Yeah, artist and repertoire. So on the music side, the A&R guy is listening to new bands, new singers, and says, hey, this is the guy I want to sign, and they sign him. So as a publisher and the editors that work for me, we are constantly getting proposals from authors or their agents, and we decide whether to publish them or not. So that's the parallel from the music business.
Okay, great.
But
and is there a stream like agents? So you're obviously, in charge. People can get a hold of you like a salesperson trying to pitch you something. Are you getting stuff all the time? Is that few and far between? And how do you vet like just the general masses?
Well, so good question. And I'll take a step back. So when I was at Thomas Nelson, which is now part of HarperCollins, which is one of the big New York houses, I was a publisher, and it was a traditional publishing model where agents approached us. If we liked it, we wrote them a check in advance and bought the book. In the business that I'm in, it's a hybrid publishing business that I started, where now authors come to us. We still decide whether to do it or not, but they pay for our services as opposed to us writing them a check. They keep their IP. We can get into that if you want, but it's a reverse model almost. But yes, then literary agents would come to us. Every once in a while, we would get a proposal from an individual, but we hardly ever did that. We kind of cut out having authors come to us directly because it was just too much. So literary agents would bring us proposals, and we would make decisions on it. The reason why an author needs a literary agent is to help figure out where the best place to send your book. For example, when I was at Simon & Schuster at Howard Books, I would get hundreds of proposals a week, and many of them would be unsolicited by individuals. I published adult trade books, which is memoirs, health and wellness, politics, those kinds of things, which is what I do now, primarily fiction and nonfiction. I would get a children's book proposal. Well, we didn't do children's books, so my assistant would write a letter saying, sorry, we're not interested in your book, and that poor person's getting rejected. Another publisher said no, when in reality they sent it to the wrong place.
Right.
And so an agent helps you find the right place to give your book the best chance possible to get published.
So can I go back? I think that model's interesting. You were talking about with the books or bands. A lot of times record labels or publishers would give you okay, we're going to give you this X amount of money. Now we own the book.
Correct.
And so if we sell 10 books, it's our risk. If we sell 10 million books, it's our gain.
Correct.
That's our risk. So what you're saying right now is that's out, and I have a book. I'm going to pay you to publish my book.
You keep the rights.
So I keep all my publishing on that.
You have the final approval on everything that we do.
Okay.
Whereas if it were the other way around, the leverage would be with me.
Right.
And then we pay you the lion's share. So it's almost like we're taking a royalty, but you're getting the lion's share of the revenues. And so it's a reverse model.
I see.
Just like everything, right? Radio, streaming,
it's all
everything is turned over since 30 years ago.
Well, technology has flattened the playing field.
Yeah.
So the publisher or the record executive in the ivory tower that had all the control because they knew how to make it happen, anybody can make it happen now.
That's right.
You can upload a song on Apple and it can take off, and then you don't need the record producer or you don't need the music executive anymore. But there's still a balance where there's still need for distribution and other things like that. And so the playing field is a lot more level. And so we provide a service to help them accomplish what they want to accomplish. We get a cut of it. They get the lion's share of it, but we help make sure they deliver a product that's competitive with what you see in the marketplace.
How did you stay so nimble and you stayed with this and adapted or die?
Yep. So I was at Simon & Schuster for nearly 9 years. And while I was there, my frustration kept growing because we kept saying no more often. And I would be talking to motivated businessmen and women who had a checkbook, and they said, look, we will pay for extra marketing. And my bosses in New York said, no, we know better, which was a joke, and I knew that. And our marketing budgets were a fraction of what people thought they were. And I'm thinking, there's an opportunity here. And it kept getting worse and worse. The biggest challenge in book publishing today is to get a book deal, you have to have a platform. If you don't have a platform, you can't get a book deal. Same in music. You've got to have a following or whatever. And it's an easier bet to place if somebody has a platform. The thing is, if you have the platform, you don't need the publisher anymore.
Right.
And so I kept having to say no more and more often to people who had really good ideas. They didn't necessarily have the platform, but they had money and they were willing to bet on themselves to make it work. And I thought, okay, I can take what I know and the experience that I've had in this industry and build a model. It was already existing, but I wasn't that familiar with it, where I said, look, I will bring everything to the table that you need to be successful, but I'm going to need you to pay for it and take the risk with me because I can't afford to be competing with the big publishers. And so far it's worked.
What would be your next step? Even that same line of thought, like John and I are our own podcast company. Right. There's our social media guy sitting right there over in the genius corner. He can get it up on anything and start banging hits on it. So what is it? What is it that's the special sauce for what you can do current day that the book writer can't do themselves? Like, I'm very good at social networking. I am very good at making my own videos and pushing my own stuff. Where do you take it that is the distribution that they need?
So part of it is distribution, but the other part of it is the editorial piece of it. And making sure that the product is competitive with other books in the marketplace. What most people don't know is that there's a lot of work that goes into making a book unputdownable, if you want to call it that way.
That's not a term.
But
I'll let it ride, but
it's the difference when you pick up a book and 2 or 3 pages into it, you put it down and it's like, it's not grabbing me to where it's grabbing me, I can't put it down. That's the editorial piece of it. So that's what a producer does for an album, right? It is helping the author tighten up their message, their book, their story, and we call that a developmental edit. And I have a network from being in the business 30 years. I have a network of really good developmental editors that used to be with major publishing houses that are now freelance, that work from home or semi-retired or whatever the case may be, want to be with their kids more often. And so we find the right developmental editor to connect with the author to make the book as good as it can be before it's published. And then we also have the distribution. So our company is distributed by Simon & Schuster, which is a big differentiator in our space. Most publishers like me that are hybrid will basically put you at Amazon, register you on Ingram's database so that you're available to bookstores. But we have a sales force that are actually selling our books into bookstores, which is making a big difference.
That's great. And I don't know if this is proprietary. Did I get that right? Information?
No.
So that developmental edit. You know, we got a lot of people in this crowd listening right now that probably got a book in their pocket. Is that an
You have a
expensive
book,
price?
Joe. I've been telling you,
Yeah.
right?
See?
You have a fascinating life.
So
Is that an expensive price, or does that put you on the market?
to answer the question, we are one of the more expensive hybrid publishers in the marketplace. Our fee is north of $40,000 if you want to publish a book with us.
Okay.
But in return, we give you a product that competes with Penguin Random House, Simon & Schuster, HarperCollins, and allow you to have the distribution that if you can really connect, we can have a bestseller. We've had 13 New York Times or 14 New York Times bestsellers since we've launched Forefront Books. We just had one last week. And
What was it?
It was called the book was called A Risk Worth Taking. It's by an American woman named Terry E. Gioma. Fascinating story. She went to MIT, got her undergraduate degree at MIT. Then she went to Dallas Theological Seminary, a very conservative evangelical seminary in Dallas, Texas, and then became an elementary school assistant principal. And after a year or two of it, she's like, this is not going to make it for me financially. So she started trading stocks and started messing around with, it's not day trading, but she trades futures, and she started making money and started traveling, which is what she wanted to do. And while she's traveling, she's meeting these other travelers, and she says, they're saying, what do you do? And she's like, well, I trade. And they said, can you teach us? And she started this online course called Trade and Travel, which has become a community of over 1 million people. She turned down an advance from Penguin Random House, a 6-figure advance, a solid 6-figure advance, to publish with us because she didn't need them, and she's making more money per book selling, and she was number 3 on the New York Times bestseller.
There you go, John.
There you go. The quote that I love is, authors are the greatest marketers of their books. I have no problem letting them take the lion's share of the sales, and we'll take a cut. So that's the hybrid. That's awesome. We're going to get to that. We're going to talk AI, of course, but first we're going to do this. Jonathan, classy dude, right? Just first class. And so is eSpace's space here on Music Row, where we do the second cup of Joe and John. It's fantastic. Experience eSpace's Music Row, steps away from the Gulch and Midtown. It's 35,000 square facility, 90 private offices, but we feel like we own the place. This is just fantastic.
Jonathan deserves a corner office overlooking Music Row.
He was a little disappointed where we were right now. We're on the interior, but we need that because of light.
We need that because of light. We're on the, and that's a good point, John, is they adapt to what your needs. We have some guys that are more in the open. We have some folks that have their own offices, which are completely decorated the way you want. Fully equipped private offices that provide a professional and productive environment for your business of any size. 5 locations in Nashville, here on Music Row with us, Midtown, Green Hills, Burton Hills, the Nations. Book your appointment at espaces.com.
Rapid fire. Pew, 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 rapid fire.
Got the guest getting in my personal space here if you're watching on YouTube.
And you've got the dangerous open lid with all our board stuff and all the mics.
Fine.
You're going to tank it right down there.
There's no question, but we'll have it on video. It'll be awesome. Quick question, quick answers. Jonathan, go ahead, Joe.
Jonathan, if you had a current or if you had a skill that you could master right now, something new, what would it be?
Playing the guitar.
All right.
That's one of my voids, too. I just never picked it up.
I can barely play a radio.
Is there a guitar in your house now? Just sitting there in the corner?
I have one of those Nashville SC electric guitars.
Okay.
Have you seen those? They do a riff before every game with a musician, and then at the end of the season, they auction them off for charity. And I got one from the inaugural season.
Great.
Yeah.
And then I have a autographed Brad Paisley guitar because I did a book with him a few years ago. And then I used to, when I was at Simon & Schuster and our offices here, we would have authors come and sign a guitar. And so I have several guitars with about 50 autographs on them of different authors that I published over the years.
Just described as his man cave. But I'm going to ask you, a favorite bedroom poster when you grew up maybe in France. Did you have?
No, my dad was pretty strict. So I would have said in the late 70s, maybe Farrah Fawcett.
Oh, do you go to Jeff Ruby's and go to the men's room just to say hi to Farrah? Because that poster is up there.
I have not been in there. I've not been to Jeff Ruby's.
Oh, there you go, man.
Okay.
Why do you want to save $250 dinner there?
Well,
come on.
There goes our sponsorship.
I like to go to. I like.
It's good, though.
There's the Jimmy Kelly's. I did a book with him. So
there you go.
Oh, well, okay.
At Jeff Ruby's, get the shareable macaroni and cheese with that great steak.
Yeah, I
you're a girl dad, 4 daughters.
4 daughters.
What is a tip for being a great dad?
Say yes more than you say no. I'm serious. As parents, we have the tendency to want to say no a lot. And you have to learn to enjoy the moment and say yes more often.
Give us a mental picture. What are the ages of those 4?
My oldest is 35.
Oh, man. Here we go.
My youngest is 20. My 2 oldest daughters are married and have 2 children, and they both work with me at Forefront Books. My 3rd daughter is a junior at University of Wisconsin, Green Bay. And my youngest daughter is a professional ballet dancer in Princeton, New Jersey right now.
Did she grow up here?
No.
Okay. I just didn't know if she was Nashville Ballet or something like that.
No, well, she danced at Nashville Ballet for 2 years and left last year.
Okay.
But she grew up in Mississippi, Louisiana, and then went to a ballet academy in Pennsylvania for 8 years before becoming a professional ballerina.
My final question, how fast have you ever driven a car? Do you have a great car story?
I used to have a Porsche Cayman S. I took it on the NATCHEZ trace and got up to 120 on the NATCHEZ trace, and 2 BMW motorcycles zipped by me, made my butt pucker.
Yeah.
I downshifted and got off and never drove fast again.
You said that's it, huh?
I'm like, I don't think they're alive, those two guys. I was flying, and the Natchez Trace is not an easy road to go fast.
No, it's not.
And I was testing out my Porsche. I also did one of those NASCAR things, race
schools.
tracks.
I did an Indy school
Now
thing.
that's
so I
the
did
best
that.
idea.
Yeah,
so that's
a
the
closed
safest way.
environment.
Yeah, that's the
You
safest
take your
way.
family walking on the NATCHEZ Trace Parkway.
And some Porsche, 2 BMW bikes.
You're that guy.
Yeah.
All right.
What is something everybody in your industry should either stop or start doing?
Stop talking about AI and figuring out how to use it more often and better.
Oh, we're going to get into that. Nice segue.
Thank you for the handoff.
We're going to talk about Two Rivers Ford. It's tailgating time right now, football season, and you will not find a better place than Two Rivers Ford. You're rest assured you're doing business, locally owned company. The price you see online is always the price you pay. $1,000 bonus cash and 2-year complimentary maintenance plan with the F-150 2026.
2.9 financing for 60 months. Now, that's a lot of numbers and stuff, but think of that 60 months. John, I think that's 5 years.
It is.
2.9.
Because I usually have a 5-year, I'm paying my car off in 5 years. I'm very familiar with that, Joe.
And
last time I did that, I totaled it.
Do you remember what your interest rate
61st
on
month.
when you purchased that was one?
It was, I think it wasn't nothing, right? Nothing.
I don't remember. It depends when you buy.
Yeah.
And it's always the low cycle that you want because every other interest rate's up around 5-6%. For 5 years, 2.9% financing. This is on the Ford F-150, the hottest truck in America. You can look at it online. As John said, you'll see that price. You can see it in person in Mount Juliet. TwoRiversFord.com. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
Jonathan, you brought it up. I'm fascinated, and I'm late to the game on AI because of running a nonprofit. It does help me with some presentations, but I can see this being some people, Gary Chapman said to us on Second Cup, I can tell an AI song. It doesn't have the soul. Can you tell?
I would say for the most part, yes. I think it's going to be tougher. And I mean, we're putting policies in place to try to protect ourselves and our authors, just making sure that we draw some lines in regards to AI, because it is the wild, wild west. It's a tidal wave that we cannot avoid. You know, either you're going to surf on it or you're going to get swallowed up by it.
There was a country song that came out that was an AI song, and nobody said anything about it, and it moved its way right up the charts. How would you know if you get an AI book? Because I guess if you're manipulating and doing that enough, you're putting in ideas, but probably 90% of it is getting spit back out. That's not your work. So how do you identify that for what you do?
Well, good editors can still see some of that. And there are programs now, too, AI programs, to kind of help you detect those types of things.
AI to stop the AI, because AI, if you build a better fortress, right? It's to
identify. It's to let you know. It's not necessarily to crush it or kill it or whatever, but it's to say, hey, the likelihood that this book was written by AI is X% or something like that, and then you go back to the author. And we now in our contracts ask the authors to affirm that they didn't use AI to write the book. They can use it to research and other things like that, but that the content was not generated by AI.
And I feel like that system will grow. I have a son at Cornell and law school. So that's also a big pushback with all the writing they have to do. They are very AI defensive up there. So I would just think there would be a circle around everyone's situation that you're going to have that AI detector out there.
It's a thing that everybody's talking about because it is a tool that we should all be getting familiar with. If not, we will be left behind. A friend of mine in the industry said it's like hiring a really smart administrative assistant that's like, graduate school level smart, but doesn't know what they're doing. And you have to figure out how to work with them on it to get them to help you.
You brought up earlier, one of the greatest pleasures, I think, is to start a book and get hooked. And then as you work every day, you look forward to knocking out those 10 or 15 pages. It's a beautiful thing. And I don't know if anybody under 30 will feel that. Am I painting I think that I like going through a newspaper. Joe, did you like getting the Philadelphia, whatever it was, growing up?
I sniff it. I open the book. First thing I do is sniff it.
Are you from Philly?
Uh-huh. Yes.
My grandparents are buried in Cherry Hill.
Okay. I grew up in Wilmington, Delaware, just across about 20 minutes from Philadelphia.
So my dad grew up in Haddonfield, right outside in South Jersey. Yeah.
It's always a Philadelphia connection. It's like 4 shows in a row, John. But I love books. Well, I guess that's a great question, John, because my sons are in the mid-20s. They don't own a book. It's all here on the Kindle or off their computer. Anything they're reading is on a screen. And so
it's actually not what the numbers say. So actually the digital reading or the e-readers are the smallest percentage of market share in book publishing, and it's continuing to decrease. Audiobooks sell more than ebooks now. Yeah, because of what we're doing right now is a big reason for it. Mm-hmm. So our children's generation are accustomed to listening more. Yeah. And so audiobooks are on the fastest growth path of anything in the industry right now. But physical books are holding their own and staying steady.
Who reads the audiobooks? Can we get a gig?
Well,
who's reading that book? Or is that
you've got to be able to pronounce things correctly.
Well, it's funny you should ask. So nonfiction books are primarily read by the author. Mm-hmm. Fiction books are read by professional readers, but you would be appalled at how little they get paid to read. I think it's like under $5,000, $2,500 to read a book.
No, we're not going to do that. No, we've got standards.
So I work with Mike Rowe. I published his mom's book, and and I'm going to say something to you about what you do, John.
Please, because that's right in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's when I want to say something about that. But so Mike is like the voice of a lot of television, and he does the Deadliest Catch, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure. Dirty Jobs,
yeah. And he did a book with Simon & Schuster, and they wanted him to read the book. And so they got into a major contract issue because he gets paid a big pile of money to read stuff, and they were going to pay him $2,500.
It's his book. So, we want you to read. You're going to do it on the discount.
So he kept the rights to the book. He wouldn't sell the audio rights and did the book himself and went around him. I mean, it's just because he was just like so offended by what they were going to pay him.
Yeah. Do you not know who I am? So what's the connection with? Go ahead.
No. So
Goat on Jag, Tennessee.
Well, I was going to wait till the end of the broadcast for that, but I just want to tell you how proud is not the right word, but impressed I am with what you do. You gave up a very visible career and are serving young men and women through a not-for-profit. And I am so impressed. I have a soft spot for not-for-profits. We actually give discounts to not-for-profits when we publish their books. But what you're doing for young men and young women, I admire. And I just want to tip my hat off to you. And I do work with Mike, and he has the scholarship for the trades and things like that, and he's doing an amazing job. But I used to be in DECA in high school, distributive education, which made all the difference for me in learning how to work and work ethic. And so I just want to tip my hat to you and say I really am impressed with what you do, and I'm really thankful that you're doing
Well, your words are weighted, and I appreciate that. We often say that students can turn a wrench; they can't get to the wrench, right? So I'm very fortunate that people say I don't read out loud for a living anymore. I actually help people. I had somebody actually say that to me, but
we need that free enterprise bus back. Remember, where did that go? Remember in the 70s, they had that bus and was always entrepreneurial leadership. Was that was up in the north, and it was a whole program like JAG would be, and it was all about starting your own business and working in business and stuff like that. And it was a rainbow bus, and it drove around, and evidently I was the only one that saw it.
yeah, I have no idea. I'm like, there will be no follow-up on this.
There was this faraway look in our eyes.
You're like,
what
holy
are you
cow.
talking
We are
about?
glazed
Reel
over.
it in, Joe.
We had checked out. But
I got my final question. I'll let John wrap up. Have you ever written a book?
No. And, for the first time about a month ago is where I finally thought, okay, I may have a book idea in me, but I'm the guy behind the scenes. I've never had the desire to be a best-selling author or to write I want to be the guy to help them get to where they want to be. And so no, I've never written a book, and I most likely won't.
And I'll end on this. I find you fascinating because of your love and passion for Paris and traveling. You have so many great, eloquent posts on social media. Where haven't you gone? Do you have a bucket list place that you have not gone yet?
Yeah, I've never been to the other side of the Pacific. So I've never been to Australia, New Zealand, China, Japan, and I do want to go, I think, to Australia, New Zealand, but I also want to go to Egypt. That's probably the top of my bucket list. This fall, my wife and I are going to South Africa for the first time on a wine trip safari type of thing.
It's a way to do it.
16-hour flight, baby.
Well, I actually have
For the vino, man.
Well, I have a business trip to Dubai in November.
Okay,
Where they pay me to go.
good.
And so we're sandwiching our trip around that. I'm going to go to Dubai for a few days. My wife will go down and join me there. And then from there, we'll go to South Africa. So it won't be as bad a jet lag and other things like that.
So give me the correct address. Forefront Books is where you can connect with Jonathan Merkh and see the great collection and books that you can buy. Thank you for the gifts that you brought us.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And it is
We've got a whole...
forefrontbooks.com, yeah.
Yeah, what is that? Say that again.
Forefrontbooks.com.
Scott Scoville book.
Yep, Scott Scoville, a Nashville legend.
Ryan Leaf, the
Quarterback for San Diego. Didn't last.
Leak with a K. Leak with a K.
There he is.
Our pre-interview session went down the tube.
There we go. And this is was somebody nobody knows.
That's not true. Joan Lunden?
Yes, she was huge.
She was on ABC.
She was on your network,
She was on
ABC.
the morning.
Were you on ABC when she was on?
Yeah.
Good Morning America?
Yep.
What was her co-host name? That guy.
David.
Charlie.
Charlie.
Charlie
She started
Gibson.
she started with David.
Yeah, but
David
doesn't
Muir. No, he wasn't even born yet.
No, but
He wasn't
you're right.
born
Charlie
yet.
Gibson was
her.
Here's the final one.
Yeah, so A Generous Poor by Mike Kelly of Jimmy Kelly's. I will tell you that is one of the most entertaining books
great.
you will read. They started off as bootleggers, his grandfather, and worked with Al Capone. I mean, there's some fun stories in there. So Al Capone protected them. He tried to hire his grandfather, and he said no. And when he said no, as the word came out, he thought he was going to be killed after that. And he said, but I'll buy my liquor from you. And from that point on, he was protected. And, I mean, there was a story where his car full of liquor was stolen, and he told Capone, and the next day his car was back with everything that was in it. I mean, it's some funny
There's
stories.
some wicked stories of Capone going through Nashville
Yeah,
down to
his
Mont
attorney-
Eagle and all that.
His
Yeah, so
attorney
that-
lived here.
The castle down in Franklin is a recording studio, infamously known for him staying there.
He was arrested at the restaurant.
Shoney's?
No, it's a restaurant now. At least it was. I don't know if it is, but he was arrested in his attorney's office down on like 3rd Avenue.
Okay.
That's where they arrested Al Capone.
Spaghetti Factory?
No, it was.
That's my Nashville.
Yes, Joe. He was taking too many servings at the salad bar.
Melting
and-
pot.
no,
He left his fondue and
It wasn't a restaurant at the time. It is now a restaurant. At least it was.
A little nightcap at Mario's, and then you went to the Boundary, and then
Mario's-
the
Mario's
Jimmy
would have been the
Kelly's.
place.
That's Al
Yeah.
Capone. Did I step on you earlier? Give that email, give that address where folks can see
did.
all your stuff.
Forefrontbooks.com, and then if you're in the UK, it's unicornpublishing.org.uk.
Well, congratulations on a great career, Jonathan. May God bless you and keep you and your wife and your daughters and all your travels and make his face shine upon you. You're just a great man, and I want to get everything he's wearing now. So
you couldn't pull that
I
off.
sure couldn't. That's
in your lane. Stay there.
You got a present to give me now, John. Thanks.
Hey, Jonathan, thank you for being on the Second Cup of Joe.
My pleasure.
And John.
It's the Second Cup of Joe and John as their guests expound on any and all topics within the realm of decency. Want to be a sponsor? Let a TV and radio guy help build your business. Email the show, secondcupofjoeandjohn@gmail.com. Now, hold on tight and grab another Second Cup of Joe and John.